I recently did another round of updates on my Udemy course about human-computer interaction, and whilst I write scripts for each section, more often than not I go off script. And so the scripts that I've got in my files don't match up with the things that I've actually said. And yet the idea of going back right through all of each video and writing down what I said and correcting the scripts that I've already have just seemed so tiring and time consuming. I have two goals for my course at the moment. One is to create a really nice workbook for my students to download at the start of the course. And then secondly, I want to be able to go through the whole course and identify exactly where examples and exercises and completed worksheets would be useful for the student as they go through the course. And so what I decided to do, because the course is now 5.5 hours long, was to generate transcripts of the whole course, which I could read through and then go, yeah, now would be a good time for an exercise. YouTube, thankfully, generates texts. I'd already generated 90 or so MP4 videos to put up on Udemy, and so I grouped them all together and put them on YouTube. Here is one I did about system evaluation, which is made of about 10 or 15 lectures, and here I go to show transcript, and then it's loading the transcript that it generates automatically, and then I toggle the timestamps, and then I just select all of the text. I go quite slowly so that it scrolls down, because this is 20 minutes of me talking. I talk about 123 words a minute. That's 2,500 words. Then, after I've selected them all, I do Control-C, and then I paste them into Word. I'd set up my heading already, and then I do Control-V, which is paste, and then I take off the extra bits at the end that says auto-generated, and then I save it, and then I go through each section and I put in the heading. I'm quite familiar with all of the words because I did spend a long time recording myself. And then I scroll down to the next section. I mean, these are quite clear. So the beginning is punch cards and QWERTY keyboards. So it's quite easy. The minute I start talking about voice recognition, which is very different, then I select that bit. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It is pretty good as well. I have a northern accent from the northeast of England, Middlesbrough. I've moved around a lot. I've spoken other languages. I lived in Switzerland and France, and my accent's a bit of a mess, but it does really, really well for me. So after having cut and paste all of my titles in, I had a document of about 47,000 words. That took me about an hour or two, I would say, on and off. It was one of those things where I just cut and paste things and went off for a cup of tea, and I came back and I did a bit more because it is kind of boring. And then once I had everything in, I start at the bottom of the text and I go to the front of the line by pressing home. Then I press backspace and then I press the space bar so that I put all the sentences together without the gaps. Because when I come to read through the document and edit it, it's going to be easy to do if I'm in a block. And so I do that for each section. And then when it comes to editing each section, that will be easier to do once you have a solid block. This section that I'm editing now, which platform, is 5 minutes and 6 seconds, which is 627 words. I've got a whole transcript there now of 50,000 words almost that I can edit down and turn into a really nice document, a really nice handout for my students taking my course. There will be quite a lot of words that it's missed, but I think there's no other way I could have put together that huge document in that small amount of time. It is just brilliant.